Hello everyone. This is an audio lecture note presentations of Pharma College Hawassa campus, particularly prepared for the second year health officer students of our health service management course as a means of continued education during this COVID-19 pandemic while students are staying at home. I am your instructor, Mangiste Bakala. The outline of today's presentations includes objective of the session and also rationale for the course to explain why health service management is given, and as well as definition of terms of health service management, and the concept of management to be explained in somewhat detailed aspects, and as well as governance and leaderships are among others. Governance and leadership will be explained in this session. Objectives of this particular session focus about explanation of the rationale for health service management, why we study health service management as a health officer, and definition of terms including about the management, leadership, and also health and other related terms are important in this subject matter. And also further defining these three terms, which seems relative or which seems a bit similar but quite different, like management, leadership, and governance. Rationale for the course or the reason why the health officer students should learn this health service management course, because management is an essential function in all kind of organizations. So every health officer expects to work in organizational setting. So it is a universal function. It is everywhere where health organization or any organization existed. And planning and management skill are needed, as most health professionals find themselves at managerial position. So in today's environment, health officers are assigned in district, zonal, regional, even further managerial positions of the health system. So the skill of good skill or standard skill of planning and management is must. And in our effort to support or to promote our effort in bringing change in the healthcare system, the knowledge of planning and health service management skill is very important. And also, as far as resources are concerned, they are scarce everywhere in every condition and setting. So the most crucial use of resource or efficient use of resource will be considered, or the management course or the health service management course, including the planning and other management aspects, will teach you or will explain you or will train you in efficient utilization of this scarce resource of the private as well as the government aspects. And it is also the skill or the knowledge or scientific background of management is important to prioritize problems when they occur at similar time. So the health officer should be technically capable of prioritizing problems when they exist together. And there is also increased competition of healthcare provision, as well as the demand for high quality of health service is increased from time to time. So health service management skill and knowledge is crucial also here. And also the knowledge of management is a means of development. Management by itself is a way to development, and it will provide or expect to provide job opportunities. Definition of terms in this course, we have to start by defining health. By defining health, the most important concept, because we are going to study health service management. So, what is health? It is absence of disease. Simply, it is absence of disease, you can say. But 45 years ago, the World Health Organization has, defined health in most comprehensive and, generalized terms. It's a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, a person to be healthy, he should be checked in terms of his physical, mental, as well as social aspects of health, not merely from physical absence of disease like that. So, what about public health? What about public health? The public health your field is a science and art of preventing disease and promoting life and improving quality of life through organized effort of the community as well as government actions and interventions in the area of policy development and also research and other related activities. And here with 2 points, healthcare and health service. To have some difference, healthcare to deal with the societal effort undertaken in the private and public sector focused on pursuing health. This is a society's effort in pursuing, in the bringing or in staying in healthy environment. How they rear a child, how pregnant mothers care, how the postnatal women should be treated like that from the societal aspects, from the community or cultural, traditional, or already existed customs aspect. While health service is a specific activity undertaken to maintain or improve health or to prevent decrement of health, can be preventive in terms of vaccination service, sanitation like that, promotive development of water sanitation activities and water resource or clean water supply, dealing with acute and chronic problems of health problems, and restorative actions and palliative in nature, alleviative in nature. Some actions could be you cannot replace what has been lost, but you can palliate or you can improve the problem. It could be a public or personal. It could be at public setup or personal individual patient level. Not only for the sick, but also for the for the normal or okay individuals. What are health service organizations? These are entities or bodies or arrangements that provide the organizational structure within which the provision of health service is directed to the consumer, whether he's a patient or not a patient, in order to consume health service health service activities within these entities or institutions. They can be institutions of different size and different magnitudes in terms of their service. And the overall interlinked or connected health service organizations, including their financial arrangement, their administrative arrangement together to provide more coordinated and comprehensive health service, will be called health system. This could be an aggregate of health service organizations from the peripheral or simple health units to more centralized referral institution or referral bodies or higher organizational level at the ministry level, from the health extension package, starting from the health extension package to the Ministry of Health level. These are when they are coordinated within financial or logistical supply and other controlling and supporting and coordinating mechanism, they create the health system. So when you come to the management concept, what management means? Management means getting things done through people. It is to be done, something should be done and should be done through people. So that could be when you are able to do things to be done through people, that is called you managed to do something, and that is the way or the approach when you do that particular activity or thing. It could be regarded as the management work. So it is a process of reaching organizational goal by working and with and through people and other resources. So it is a process. Here it is further defined to be a process and to reach some goal of the organization. Management always exists in organizational setup. Management exists in the organizational setup and in achieving goals of that particular organization. No organization exists without purpose. So in order to use human and financial and material resource by the coordinated effort of its staff members in order to achieve organizational goal by the work or processed or by the process of activities which we are going to see, that is also can reflect the concept of management. So we said it's a process composed of interrelated social and technical function and activities. So here the social and technical function and activities relate working with people with their techniques as well as behavior. And this should be occur in the formal organizational setting. This work should occur in the formal organizational setting for the purpose of accomplishing predetermined already the committed objective of that organization, and by the use of this human and other resources, including finance, material, and time. So further, when management explained further, it is a process. So process means interconnected or linked activity which induce from one result to the other. So it is a process of planning. Start by planning, organizing, next to planning, and leading or directing, and finally controlling the effort of these organizational members, staffs, as well as staffs and other structures by using all available also organizational resource, as we already mentioned, to reach the organizational goal or objectives. So that process is explained here to be the four functions of management: planning, organizing, leading or directing, and controlling. So what are common points in the definition of management? The common points in the definition of management, the first is it is a process, interactive and interrelated ongoing functions and activities. We have said planning should come first, organizing should follow, leading or directing, then the controlling. So this is a cycle, but it should go like this. So the common term in the management is a process. And use of human resource and other resource, financial and time resource, also must be there. And it should occur in the formal organizational setting. There should be organization. These are the common points or the common elements of management. And when you see management as a science, art, and a profession, actually the development of management as a science is of recent origin. Recently, it has been considered or included in the social science aspect or in the social science stream, but it has been practiced as old as civilization. Human being used to apply management deliberately or knowingly or unknowingly. The management practice has been applied in the human environment from the beginning of human civilization. This could be more than thousands of years back. So management is a social science and deals with the behavior of people in the organization. In one aspect, management is a social science dealing with the behavior of people, because the most crucial element of the organizations are its employees or its people. So their behavior in working or achieving organizational goal matters a lot. Then their behavior in utilization organization of resource, their commitment and their coordination and everything. So dealing with this people's behavior or staff's behavior or workers' behavior will be dealt or treated by by the knowledge of management, will be knowledge of management, or the science of management specifies or depict this pattern of organizational members' behavior and the way how to manage and how to make use of it. Engineers use science for engineering while building a bridge. The scientific knowledge of how to erect or create or build or construct a bridge needs physics or the drawing aspects of engineering. But when you are just transform this idea into practice, you involve several staffs and several procedures and process and works. That time the knowledge and the application and the art of management should come. So manager uses the knowledge of management theory while performing his managerial function. So engineering is a science, and its application to the solution of practical problem is an art. So scientifically, the engineer can draw on paper, can determine the amount of iron bar, concrete materials, and amount of cement, and like that, and the way how the bridge should be erected scientifically. But when it is just transformed to the practical application, into the practical application terms, it needs an artistic approach, working with people, and creating something to coordinate their activities like that. So the work of management, the engineer knowing the engineering knowledge cannot achieve his objective unless he knows how to manage those activities which comes under the field of engineering. So today's even besides the health service management, the construction service management aspects has become as a major discipline in universities. In the universities now giving both managers of engineering or managers of constructions are being treated or trained separately, because their knowledge, a separate knowledge of management, is crucial and must for the success of the other application of the scientific or the engineering aspects. Similarly, management as a body of knowledge and discipline is a science. Its application to the solution of organizational problem is an art. An art means an attractive approach, or an attractive, or it could be a creativity or a gifted or a trained aspects of result of work. So its application of solution to organizational problem is an art. Therefore, management is a science as well as an art and a profession. By itself, a profession is a type of work, recognized work, and is an art, and it's also a science. Science means study of knowledge, which is based on the facts and based on the theories and facts, and which could be actually practically proved like that. So why management is universal and necessary? Necessary function and essential for all kind of organization. This question will be answered by the four function of management. We have already earlier mentioned about four function of management to be, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. This function must be in every and all activities of organization. So the answer to this question, the first answer to making of a decision, it says, making of a decision is upon the planning level. What to do, you have to decide. Always in management or in any activity, you have to have frequent decision making, conditions of or opportunities or circumstances. So decision making based on facts and based on information is must. And above all, the biggest or the major decision will be taken by any organization during the planning, deciding what to do, when to do, how to do. That covers the planning aspect. The coordination of activity must be there. You decide what to do, when to do, and where to do, by whom to do, with whom to do, and these all questions will be answered by coordinating of activities, by prioritizing, by coordinating, by settling activities according to their preconditions. The third reason why management is necessary and essential function of all organization is handling of people, or leading, influencing, motivating, and by any means you have to handle those people who are organized and who are arranged during your planning and coordinating activities. They should be pushed forward and face whatever they have to face and achieve what the organization already specified to achieve. And also, there should be an performance of evaluation. In every organization, performance should be evaluated. Otherwise, whether you are on the right track or on the wrong track, you cannot, detect earlier, and you may detect it very late. So, the evaluation performance is the center, or is always there. So, universality of management is because every management goes through the four function of management. So the four function of management answers these four questions. And we have seen management, and in the four function of management, we have already mentioned leading. So leading is also what leadership means. Leadership means, and leading, directing is a continuous process of directing and influencing the work-related activities of a group member toward accomplishment, achievement of organizational goal. So it is, yes, directing and influencing. People will be assigned, and the assignment of people cannot be, the last work, but they need some leading or motivating or influencing to proceed, and their daily problem should be, solved, and they should move forward to achieve what they have to achieve, the goal of the organization. So leadership is the central point of all the four function of management. So leadership is enabling others to face challenges and achieve results. Whatsoever challenge is there in front of them, they have to be able to, to confront and resolve that challenge and bring the expected result of which you are intended to achieve. So leadership involves an equal distribution of power between the leader and the group member. So the use of power plays a lot here. That's power given to the managers. There are different type of power. Legitimate power and informational power and charismatic power, expert power, different power which we are going to see in the future presentations. But leaders should have power, and they have to apply this power to influence, motivate, inspire their followers, and be able to achieve what they have to achieve. It is the ability to use different form of power to influence the workers' behavior. So particularly, there will be, legitimate power as a director, or a supervisor, or as any position of managerial position aligned or attached with that position. There will be a power. Also, there will be a power, coercive power. You can, enforce others, not only in positive terms or in polite way. Sometimes coercive power you have to use. There is also sometimes granted power. Others can respect you and can follow your order. So that's type of power. So different type of power should be utilized. So what is leader? Is an individual in a team influencing a group activity towards goal formulation and achievement. So the leader must win the willingness of the worker to accept directions. So the leader is leading. To lead, he should have acceptance to be followed. To have acceptance and to be followed, we have already said have to use or have to have the power. This power will be sourced, from different sources, from different direction, maybe from different direction. Leader is a member of a team who is responsible for establishing and communicating clear goal, and then inspiring positive action toward their achievement. So is have to create, the goal and communicate and this goal with them, and motivate them to go through or to the direction of this goal. So if the leader is that point, to that extent, what is governance? Governance, this term can relate with the government, but governance is somewhat different, but like that of government. Government has responsibility to influence the livelihood, the daily life of citizens, like that of organizations have governance. This governance, like that of government, will have, a superior power in formulating, directing, shaping the organizational activity or the organizational existence. It's a collective process of making decision in organization, health system, or the health sector. At senior position, dealing with, making decisions toward that organization's activities, resource allocations, resource utilizations, a goal, and a strategic goal. For example, the first one, strategic direction and objective. Strategic direction and objective settling by the governance could cover a number of years, especially from 5 to 10 years, where the direction or where the organization want to be at after 5 years or 10 years will be determined by the so-called this governance or senior level managers. And so also making policies. Policies, we'll see policies, procedures, laws, rules, regulations in detail. They make policies, they develop laws, and they, erect rules, regulations, and make decisions. Also, they raise and deploy resources to accomplish strategic goal and objective. At higher level, this governance will see when they will see over make in the assessment overall situation, but resource allocation, for long-term resource allocation, how much to spend, how much to be raised, how much to get to profit, like that should be decided by the governance or governing body of that organization. In the health sector or in the health system, the governance could involve the government bodies as well as non-governmental bodies, and also the interest of the people. Overseeing and making sure that the strategic goals and objectives are accomplished is the work of governance. They settle the strategic objective, and also they have to check whether the organization moving to that direction, to that goal's direction. So governance enables an environment in which legitimate action can be taken to meet stakeholder needs. So governance is effective when strategic objectives are successfully and efficiently met. But good governance goes even further. Good governance even can formulate, in the merging of the organization with other organization, and changing the strategic direction, and even beyond, the existence, the life, the activity, the lifelong activity of the organization will be determined by the government. So governance is good, like that of government is good. We said the government is good when you do something. Like that, the governance of the organization or the institution or the body of organization is good when decisions are based on information, facts, evidence, shared value, or agreed points or agreed upon pointers. The process is transparent, inclusive, and responsive to. So this process of making decision needs the needs of people should be fulfilled, and the needs of the ministry or the interest of the ministry should maintain, and the interest of the organization should be served. And those who make and those who implement decisions are accountable. We call governance to be good because those who are making decisions and who are implementing decisions should be accountable for their action. They have to act based on what has been decided, And the strategic objectives of the organization should effectively means appropriately meeting what you have to meet, efficiently meeting what you have to meet with proper utilization of resource, ethically, acceptably, morally, and equitably by balancing what you have to do, or by not making partialities like that. So it should be a strategic objective should be effectively, efficiently, ethically, and equitably met. They should be met. And the vitality of ministry of or the organization is sustained. The vitality means the existence or the continuation of the ministry or the organization should be continued. So this will bring the end of today's session, and stay at home and take care. Thank you for your listening.